that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Running fast to the edge of my life, Jesus saved me now. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Running fast for the edge of my life, Jesus saved me now. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Running fast for the edge of my life, Jesus saved me now. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Running fast for the edge of my life, Jesus saved me now. Jesus saved me now. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Running fast for the edge of my life, Jesus saved me now. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Running fast for the edge of my life, Jesus saved me now. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes, that has come to me. Running fast for the edge of my life, Jesus saved me now. Running fast for the edge of my life, Jesus saved me now. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. It is here in the Father's kingdom. It was there for me. You took me in, and you washed away my sins. You washed away my sins.
You ready? You're listening to the Real Pineapple Podcast Network. Hey, good evening, ladies, gentlemen, theys, and gays. This is the Real Pineapple. There we go. This is your humble host, Hunter, here. I hope you're safe. I hope you're well. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday, everyone. We're almost at the weekend, thank God. Um, yeah, so real quick, oh my gosh, I totally lost my train of thought. God, I'm not even that tired. I shouldn't have. I should know that better, but so I'm gonna just do a quick review for Red One. I went ahead and saw that earlier. I don't actually have anything really to soapbox. I feel like I've ranted about the election. Don't worry, there will be there will be more, I'm sure to say. But I mean, I've talked about the election, working on the best. Oh yeah, Saturday's actually something I can bring up. So the best and worst of uh list. I can talk about that. So I'm gonna start really hunkering down here over the next uh 6-7 weeks. I'm going to be watching the most stuff that it's this time of the year. This is the time of year I barricade myself in the office and try to watch as much Oscar stuff as humanly possible. So yeah, I'll be doing that again per usual this year. But as far as the when the reviews will be up or when my best of worst of, I'm shooting for mid-January. That's what I'm shooting for. We will see if that happens. It might be more towards the end of the month of January. But on the low end or on the late end, I'd like to shoot for that, maybe that February 1st. I don't like to do both lists typically in the same day, but doing that on a Saturday, I might be coerced into doing that. So uh we're looking at probably February 1st on the late end. But yeah, so just so you're aware. If you follow me on Letterboxd, you can actually kind of see where I'm at right now currently for my best worst of. So you can follow me over there at Black Shazam. So if you need another reason to go ahead and follow me on there. So all right. So I've got a review for Red One, which is directed by Jake Kasdan, who you know from directing. Wait, was that him? Wait a minute, I thought that was. Oh no, Apatow only produced it. That's right. So here's what's so interesting: is this dude's filmography. He did Walk Hard. That alone kind of gives him cachet to do whatever the fuck he wants. But he wrote, directed, and produced Walk Hard. I was like, no, that's Apatow. No, Apatow was only a producer on that. So he does Walk Hard. He does Bad Teacher, which Bad Teacher is fine. In 2011, he does Sex Tape. I fucking hate Sex Tape. That's the Cameron Diaz, Jason Segel one. That's a dog shit movie. That's actually one of the earliest reviews we did on the podcast on the show was our Sex Tape review. So you can actually check that out. But yeah, Sex Tape is shit. That's a terrible fucking movie. But then he's directed he's directed the last two, so it looks like he didn't do the third one. But he directed Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle and Jumanji: The Next Level. Two very successful films for Dwayne Johnson. And then he was an executive producer on Prom Pact, which I haven't seen, but apparently people seem to like it. So I mean, that's something. But yeah, so going into this, let's just call it what it is. I was not overly excited about going into this. As a matter of fact, I was downright looking forward to about anything else but this. I'm more excited for Wicked next week and Gladiator 2. I'm so hyped for those. I went into this with a bad attitude, but let's call it what it is. Dwayne Johnson has kind of given you a reason to be suspect at this point. So let's just talk about Dwayne Johnson a little bit. So, back in what was it, 20? Oh God, when 2022? God, feels like forever ago. But back in 2022, he did Black Adam, and he did DC League of Super Pets. He voiced Crypto the Super Dog. Um, that was Dwayne Johnson's attempt to go ahead and take over DC Comics. Like that's what it was, and take over the film division. That was his goal. And that did not work out very well because he's now back in WWE, which I guarantee you he fucking wouldn't be if Black Adam was the success that he thought it was going to be. But then after that, he goes ahead and he does. Actually, no, that was before. Never mind. So Dwayne Johnson's been on a very weird path movie wise. So let's just go back to 2016, and I go back to 2016 for a reason. So stick with me. So okay, 2016 gets Central Intelligence. Does decently well though. Does Moana? That's a smash, a hit. I mean, we're getting a sequel in like a week. Does Fate of the Furious? Does well. Not great, but does well. Does Baywatch? Baywatch does not do well. He does Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle in 2017, same year as Baywatch. That does well. He does Rampage in 2018. That does not do well. He does Skyscraper in 2018. That does not do well. He does Fighting for My Family, which not a huge financial success, but it's a smaller indie film. It makes money. Florence Pugh gets critical acclaim for that role. So yeah, that does well for him. He's an executive producer on that. Shazam, he's an executive producer on that. Doesn't do well commercially, but DC does go ahead and greenlight a sequel, which does worse. And doesn't have the critical acclaim that this one did. So I'd say that's a win. Does Hobbs and Shaw? Doesn't do Game Busters, but does well. Jumanji Next Level, huge smash. Does well with critics. Does well commercially. Then you get Jungle Cruise. That was a pandemic film. Didn't do great, but audience score as well is good on it. So, I'll kind of give him a little bit of pass on that. But then he does Red Notice. Red Notice is where that's one of the most expensive films. I think it still might be the most expensive film that Netflix has produced. And that movie is just, it's fucking garbage. It's such a bad fucking movie. That's 2021. And then we get to League of Super Pets. Then we get Black Adam. So Dwayne Johnson, he's been on the skids here. Like, really, I would say, even if you go back to like 2014, he does Hercules in 2014. Then he does Furious 7. Then he does San Andreas. Like those are two flops sandwiched in between the middle of a film that does great. So I'm just saying, I think this Dwayne Johnson, just throw him in an action movie and you're guaranteed to make $500 million. I think those days are over. I think those days have been over, and I've been saying that. I've been saying that I think that he is not the box office draw that he feels like he was. It's kind of interesting. Some kind of similar happened with Will Smith, because I really feel like Will Smith thought he was bigger than he was, like still doing the Men in Black films and all that. And then he really kind of had to accept the fact that, nah, dude, that's not you anymore. And I think this movie is really going to kind of be that nail that's going to hammer home the fact that, dude, you're just not that guy anymore. And I know he wants to be. I know Dwayne Johnson would love to be. Like, let's call it what it is. I think he is very Vince McMahon in this way, in the sense of, if Dwayne Johnson could just be making movies right now, he would just be making movies right now. Like, he's back in wrestling because that's his only real option right now to be adored by people and to make money, is to go back to WWE. Like, I'm not going to go on a whole thing, but I won't lie. The whole quote final boss nickname fucking pisses me off. The man hasn't had a one-on-one wrestling match in almost a decade, and you're the final boss. Fuck out of here with that. Like seriously, the final boss. No, fuck you. So I don't love that. But going into this, I will say I went, all right, maybe if we can get some of that Dwayne Johnson charm, because the fucker can still be charming. I just think he comes across like such a douche, it's hard to like buy into it. But what I will give this movie credit for, and because again, fair is fair, I think this is a movie that if you had someone like Anita Costa, someone like a Lord Miller, someone like a Jordan Peele, someone that would be interested in world building, I actually think you could have a good movie here. I honestly believe that. The writer of this was a screenwriter, and this was Chris Morgan. Chris Morgan, he so I mean he also wrote this. Oh, he wrote Shazam Fury of the God. Oh man, okay. So as I'm looking through here, so he was a producer on The Mummy, the Tom Cruise one. Ick, not a great start. He was a screenwriter and producer on Hobbs and Shaw. I like Hobbs and Shaw. It's stupid, but I like it. But then he was the screenwriter of Shazam: Fury of the Gods, which everyone I've talked to who's just been very disappointed with that. He was a producer on Fast and Furious Spy Racers, which is actually a really good show. So I mean, yeah, not the best screenwriting credits to your name, but it feels like this guy is very much a I just need to cover my bases sort of guy. He may not even be that good of a screenwriter, to be quite frank, because there's some things in here that are introduced that I went, okay, that's an interesting concept. It's kind of like that Charlie's Angels movie in the sense of this movie introduces there's this whole concept to bring up of they're basically able to go through different toy stores kind of like as like hubs for when they go ahead and they're in like in Christmas season to go ahead and get around quicker. And I actually was like, that's kind of clever, actually. That's an interesting notion. And then there's this whole thing where there are people in law enforcement who know who Santa is and like know that Santa exists. So that would actually be kind of an interesting thing to be like, okay, how does Santa work with law enforcement in the sense of like how high up do you have to be in order to know that that Santa fucking exists? I There are a couple things like that I was sitting there going, man, there's something here. But the problem is this guy just doesn't fucking care about shit in this movie. This movie feels ironically enough like a Mummy film. But I'm not talking about like The Mummy or The Mummy Returns. I'm talking about this feels like The Mummy Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. Like it feels like they went, oh, what new visual effects package came out? Oh, we can do like killer abominable we can do killer snowmen. Sure, why not? Let's go ahead and do that. So they throw that in. Um Nick Kroll gets possessed in this movie in a sequence that is so unnecessary. Like there's just such another way to do that. I was like, all right, cool. We're doing this shit. Um, I I don't even know where to start with this. So okay, so J.K. Simmons, he of course plays Santa, and I it's so funny because I was thinking back on like Christmas movies because per usual, I'm going to do a 12 Days of Christmas countdown, review countdown. Still figuring out the list, but I will be doing some holiday slash Christmas reviews. But I I was thinking back to A Violent Night and how much that movie kicks so much ass, and how awesome David Harbour is as Santa, and how they actually do a really good job of giving you some like mythology about Santa. And like I really love that fucking movie. And as I'm sitting here and watching this, I went, man, if you guys hadn't stopped at the outline, if someone really actually fucking cared about, and I hate to even say it like this, but if someone wanted to make this a franchise, like lay some groundwork, maybe that's how you have to go ahead and just pitch shit now. Like, I hate to be that cynical, but it's starting to kind of make me wonder, like, is that what we have to do? point, do we have to say that, oh yeah, you're guaranteed another movie for people to actually fucking care and put some effort in? Because shit in this movie just happens just because. Um Dwayne Johnson's character, um, what's the fucker's name? Um, Clint, something like that. Callum. There, I'll start with a C. Whatever. But he has this bracelet. He basically has the Pym Tech. Basically, he has this gauntlet that can go ahead and like make things bigger or make things smaller. And I will say they actually use that to shockingly good effect. Of course, that's the end. It's at the very end of the fucking movie, but they go ahead and they show how Santa actually uses the technology to like shrink to go ahead and get inside chimneys and like size back up once he's in like the main part of the house, and how he actually is able to do that with like the stockings and stuff like that. And I went, this is fucking clever. Like, where the fuck was this for the other 90% of the film? And I think that's what just made me so angry, is because I went into this, I had a tall margarita because I was like, I am not watching this sober. And then I got a tall 805 at the theater. I was just like, all right, I can do this. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all, as I'm sitting there, I'm like, I'm not hating this. For like the first 15 minutes, I wasn't hating it. But there's just this point where Chris Evans goes ahead and joins the party. He plays Jack O'Malley, who is a guy who hacks things. They don't really he's a hacker who sells shit to the highest bidder. That's essentially what he is, or who he is. So sure, but he has the whole subplot of, oh, he's a shitty person, so he's on the naughty list. He's like a level 4 naughty lister, which they kind of throw out that whole concept that there are levels to the naughty list, and then they kind of just like don't follow up on it, which again, something else that was interesting that could have used some more explanation. But Chris Evans and Dwayne Johnson, I just don't think they have chemistry. And it's so like you think about Evans and like Anthony Mackie, or you think back to like Evans and like Robert Downey Jr., or Evans and fucking Sebastian Stan. Like, we've seen Evans have chemistry. Evans and fucking Idris in the Losers. Like, they have chemistry in that. Like, we've seen Evans have chemistry with his co-stars, and I just don't think there's any chemistry between him and Johnson here. It's funny. I brought up Rush Hour the other day, and obviously elements of those films have not aged great, but one thing that just constantly is great in those movies, even in the third one, where it is definitely a step down, step and a half probably from the second film, is Chan and Tucker's chemistry. It's still there, even when the script isn't. And as I'm watching this, I just went, I'm not getting this like fun buddy pop dynamic, which you're clearly going for. It feels like they're going for Lethal Weapon, and yeah, it's not the case here. I thought I actually have to kind of retract something I said about Red Notice. I thought that Dwayne Johnson and Ryan Reynolds didn't have chemistry. I think the chemistry's worse, personally. Yeah, it's rough. And then you get to the villain of the film, Grilla, who's played by Kiernan Shipka, who you know from Charling Adventures of Sabrina and Totally Killer. I'm such a fan of hers, and like I hope she gets to play a villain again, because like there's something there. But the problem is her motivations are so thinly defined. Like, she's really just there to kind of be there, and she really doesn't get any sequences with the villain, like with the heroes. It's really weird how much of an afterthought the main threat of this movie is, and you get someone who's proven to be a great actor, and yet this is what you do with them. It's really quite frustrating. When I think about something like this too, this budget's $250 million. I cannot tell you there isn't an action sequence that I was like, oh man, like let's go. one of the things that's a very dumb decision about this, and I get why this is, but hear me out. So much of this happens at night, including when Santa is kidnapped. And all sitting there thinking the whole time is, okay, you're at the fucking North Pole. Have some lights. Light the North Pole up. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, why aren't there Christmas lights everywhere? There should be. It's fucking Christmas time. It's just there's just stuff like that that I just kept going. Come on, movie. I'm give me something. Um, yeah, there is straight up, and I know I keep making the Marvel comparison, but there's straight up a point where one of those about those snowmen, those evil snowmen, gets the staff that straight up looks like the Loki spear, that it has the Tesseract in it, and the snowman literally touches someone and they freeze, and I just went like, really, really now, come on. I know people steal from each other, but goddamn, do you have to make it so obvious? Um, as I'll say, I know I mentioned it kind of in passing, but the beginning part of this movie, the first like 10 minutes where it's mostly J.K. Simmons, I actually liked it. I went, oh, the J.K. Simmons. I was trying to find the line. Okay, here we go. So Dwayne Johnson actually has this whole thing about wanting to quit, and he's just like, I'm over this job. I'm over. He talks about how, I love the kids. It's the adults who make this shit, miserable each year. People act like there are more people now on the naughty list now than are on the like the good list, and like they don't even care. And so Santa just goes like, it's not our job to change people. It's our job to give them something to believe in. Below all that pessimism is the optimism they felt as kids. And I was like, wow. I was like, what? Where the fuck did that come from? I was so shocked. It like woke me up. I was like, where the fuck? Like, okay. But then the movie just it's never even remotely that interesting ever again. And again, this is like the first 10 minutes. So I'm not even like, I'm mad because this is 250 fucking million dollars. Like, I have indie directors, like I've been interviewing people more so than ever before on the show. I guarantee you, oh my god, could you imagine giving fucking could you imagine giving Jennifer Levinson fucking $200 million? Oh my god, she would direct something awesome with that. Could you imagine giving God, yeah, could you imagine fucking giving Nia DaCosta, give her that? Like, I know the Marvel's like 200 million, shut up, but like, let her do a project like that inspires her. We just had, we just had Clayne Crawford back on. We just had, Sarah Friedman on. Oh my god, they would crush a project with just 20 million, let alone fucking 200 million. So when I see a movie like this where it's so expensive and it feels like no one fucking cared, it's like, what do you want me to say? Like, I'm not giving you a pass for that. Like, no, like it's made even worse too by the fact that Dwayne Johnson just did this with Red Notice. Like, I kept confusing this with Red Notice. I kept calling this Red Notice. I'm like, no, it's Red One, Red One. Like, I had kind of drill that in my head. Oh man, this movie really upsets me. Even though I wasn't like pissed off, but I was sitting there going like, this is shit. Like, it's in that, even something like Madam Web. Like, I expect Sony to fuck up, but I could at least go with Madam Web. Hey, there is like a girl power element to this that might make this fun to watch, like at a sleepover, maybe like to just like talk shit about it, but kind of have fun with like, with your girls. Maybe that, it fills that ilk for someone. There's no goddamn reason to watch this. My friend Ambrosia, shout out to her. She was like, "Oh, like, should I watch it?" And I was like, "On streaming if you have to." But I mean, I used a free credit for this, and I was like, man, if I had paid for this, And maybe that's part of why I'm not so mad is because I didn't pay to actually watch it. You know, I paid for my food or whatever. But yeah, y'all, this isn't. I'm not even mad enough to give this a go fuck yourself. So I mean, I'll give it an F. But man, it's just when I got to the end of this, I was like, I just want this to be over. That that's what I kept thinking. I was like, is this done? I'm so tired. Like I do not care. And Lucy Liu, my God, that woman is so goddamn fine and so goddamn talented. And even in this, she is trying harder than she has any fucking right to be. And I'm frustrated watching her because I'm like, can we get her a vehicle? Can we get her an action franchise? Can we get her into the MC? Like, can we do something with Lucy Liu? She's fucking amazing and she deserves more than she gets. And like, it's so frustrating. Like, I don't know. So I just, anyways. So this is an F. Like, don't watch this. There's just nothing for you here. Like at the end of the like even for a Christmas movie, it's like, oh, should I watch for that? No, no. Like watch Violent Night. Violent Night is so much better than this. And that's the other issue I have too. It's like there's no reason for me to recommend this because Violent Night exists. Like, why would I recommend, something shittier to you? So yeah, don't watch this. And this is on track apparently to make around 35 million, and the 250 million apparently isn't including even the marketing budget. So yeah, this isn't gonna do great. Yeah, this is probably another flop for Dwayne Johnson. So yeah, but F for me for Red One. But yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. As far as the rest of the week, um I might stream tomorrow. Maybe I will stream tomorrow. I'll think about it. Oh yeah, I am gonna go ahead and do a breakdown of the Captain America in the Thunderbolts trailer. So actually, maybe I'll do that. Shit, maybe I'll do that tomorrow. Maybe I'll do a trailer breakdown and then I'll stream some Batman or something. But I'll update the channel so y'all know. But as far as what I've got coming up, next week I've got a review for Gladiator and Gladiator 2. I'm excited to go ahead and bring that to y'all. I'm real excited to go ahead and see that. And then what else? I will be streaming Batman, the Telltale series for sure next week. Gonna get back to my AEW reviews next week. So I'll have a review for AEW Dynamite next Thursday. As far as what's on the channel right now, I've got a lot on the channel right now, y'all. So there's quite a bit of for y'all to catch up on. So actually, can I present? Let's see. Share screen window. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. So yeah, recently I reviewed this fun thriller called The Stoic, and I did an interview with the writer director John Eckersley. That is up on the channels right now, as well as the video interview as well. I just reviewed this film called Or Something, this cool indie flick. Did an interview with the director of it and the producer Dan Blackwell and Scotty Schroeder. That was a really fun interview, so that's up on the channel right now, as well as a video interview on YouTube. I did a interview with Daniel Partland, who did the documentary Unfit about Donald Trump, and did the sequel called Untruth, The Psychology of Trumpism. That review's up on the channel right now, as well as an interview with him. He gave me an hour of his time, and the interview was really thought-provoking and a lot. But I know a lot of us don't want to hear about Trump right now, but I do think that that's an interview that's well worth your time. So I would definitely recommend y'all check that out. I did an interview with SC King, this really amazing director. They were a blast to have on, as well as actress Danielle Joy Healy. We talked about their film Our Dad Danielle, which is this really awesome documentary about Danielle coming out as a trans woman just a couple years before she turned 60, and about her journey. And they gave me like 30 minutes of their time. They were so fucking cool, so fucking sweet to talk to. So definitely check out that review as well. And then I did a interview for this film called Chaperone. Interviewed the director Zoe Eisenberg. Think when you think about Chaperone, think about May December, but I would say even a little darker. It's a great flick. So my review for that is up on the channel, and then my video interview with Zoe is up on the YouTube channel as well. But a hell of a movie. That's gonna be one of those movies that people watch next month as they start to wrap up their best stuff and go like, oh shit, like check out Chaperone, y'all. Like check that movie out. And then I did a interview for with writer, actress, director. She's kind of talented. Sarah Friedman. We talked about her feature debut Heightened, which there is a review up for here as well. Video interviews up on the channel, on the YouTube channel. And then lastly, as I mentioned earlier, I did a interview with Summer Shelton, who wrote, starred in, and directed this her feature debut called You and I. And a friend of the show, Clayne Crawford, co-stars in that film. So they were on the interview as well. Got to talk to them for about 20 minutes. So definitely check out that interview, and then go ahead and check out the video. That's up on YouTube as well as my actual interview or review for You and I. So lots of stuff that's up on the channel right now. As far as what's coming up, I mentioned Gladiator and Gladiator 2 reviews will be up next week. I will have my review for Deadpool and Wolverine on Saturday, so my review will be up for that. And yeah, I will end up streaming at the latest on Sunday, but I do want to break down that new Thunderbolts trailer and then the Captain America trailer. Yeah, I will bring both of those break both those down for y'all. But everyone, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay safe, take care of each other, give someone a hug, give someone a compliment. Could all use some more positivity. I hope you're all staying safe. I know it's getting colder, so yeah, please bundle up, get your flu shot, get your COVID shot. Bundle up, bundle up, bundle up. But never forget, as always, to keep it real. Thank you so much for tuning in, y'all, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.